Hi friends, it's Deb. I am doing the March Bingo of Shame. I'm pretty sure it was started, I know it was started by Andie Gardner and Deb's Beauty Diary, but I'm not sure if there was another initial creator or not. If there was, I'm really sorry. They've been doing this since last year. At the end of a round, Andie will use her wheel and spin a new palette. And they're trying to use palettes that they have in common, that they either have not loved on very much or have not used at all. And the palette that they drew for this month was the Beauty Bay Earthy. And I was really excited when I saw that because I have it. So I asked if I could join. And if you do join, there is a group chat on Instagram where everyone kind of shows the numbers they drew, the looks they have, and whatnot. Today is the 14th. This look goes up on the 16th, so I need to get it in gear. Because I have the random number generator, on my phone, and that's what I film on, I did pre-roll, but I have not looked in the palette yet, so I'm kind of scared. But the numbers I drew, and you'll see I'll insert a clip, are 11, 1, 2, 3, and 30. God, please, 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 please. There are 7 in each row. This is what the palette looks like. And I did my nails, Zoya, Charlie, in the hopes that I would get at least 1 in the top. I figured the odds were pretty good. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1 is this fresh color. 2 is ivy. That's pretty. 3 is sage. Okay, a shimmer. That's a pretty good start. Go back to 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's moss. Okay, 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. And then 30. Seriously? It's kind of a reddish brown. Who sent you? Okay, let me swatch these out really quick and then I'll show you what they look like together. I was really happy with these 4. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, there's 11. Oh my gosh, this palette's beautiful. I have not used this palette yet, so I'm really excited. 1, that was 2. Oh gosh, 2, that's 3, and then here's 30. Okay. I'm really, really happy I got that number 1 shade, that really, really light matte. I was wondering how I would do a look without the matte white that I always put on the inner corner. So I guess that will be that shade and our blender shade. Alright, let me put my eye shields on and I'm going to prep with my Painterly paint pot and then we'll just get going. If you guys hear a really moist, squishy sound in this video, Bosco God, he's back. Yesterday he found out where we were hiding his, you know those launch it sticks for balls? We don't allow him to have a ball in the house because he's a lab, he's obsessed, and he will just not stop. And yesterday he played so hard that when we left for dinner, we tried to take it away from him and he was like not having it. And so we medicated him. We give him trazodone sometimes. And we came home from dinner and he still had that thing in his mouth. And during the night, I thought he was dead because I got up in the middle of the night to take them out and he didn't respond to me at all. And I went into Wendy's room and he was like flopped on the bed, mouth breathing with the ball a couple inches ahead of, like in front of him. So I just snatched the ball and then he got right up and came after me. But he's chewing like on this thing and he will not drop it. And when he does, it's just covered in slimy stuff and he wants you to like pick it up and throw it or kick it to him. I ain't doing all that. That's disgusting. At least plush toys absorb all of that nasty slobber. I don't know if you have a big dog that slobbers a lot, but oh God, the most. All I have on my face right now after I washed, I just put on my SPF cream. Yesterday I did a green look using the Orient Express palette from Nomad. I was not impressed, but it was Papa's 79th birthday, and so we were going out to his favorite steak place, and I did my base, and I had to use whitening drops, which I don't know why. Maybe I used them wrong or I got a bad batch, but people swear by them, and every time I try to use them, I feel like the white pigment in it clings to like everything on my face, every random hair, every dry patch. My makeup looked so scaly and wild. I was like, what the frick? So I had to wipe it off and start over. And then I had a lot of fallout from my eye look because I ended up having to use toppers because that palette was so boring. My eyes, by the time we got home, and I had to scrub, my lashes popped up, so I had to add extra lash glue. Like, it was a mess. So my skin today is really angry at me. Normally I wouldn't do makeup again, but I've procrastinated until the last possible frickin' minute, as I do. Okay, what? I'm going to go straight in with shade number 2, this dark one called Ivy. And I'm going to put that on the outer corner. I don't know if that's smart, but I just feel like that's a safe place for me to start. I'm just going to kind of stamp it right there. And if this is not at all how you would do your makeup, don't judge me. This is just how I do mine, and sometimes my looks turn out and I'm like, oh hey, I really like that, and other times I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I guess we all have those days, but I grew up in a religious situation that is currently, I don't want to use the word on here, but the church was called the 2x2s, and they're currently being investigated by the FBI. And we were not allowed to wear makeup, not even like clear nail polish. And the rules of this church were so strict. And I stopped going when I was 16, when I finally felt like I would be okay if I got kicked out of the house and basically like disowned by my family. And I had a friend whose mom had said, you know, if anything ever happens, you can come stay here. And it would have definitely changed the entire trajectory of my life, because my parents paid cash for my nursing school and all of that a couple years later. But when I was 16, I decided that I was not going anymore. And to work, I didn't really wear makeup until I became a nurse. And then, I mean, that was in the mid-90s, right? And we had a couple of foundations. Like, I still remember the first foundation I ever used was CoverGirl. And we didn't know how to shade match. Like, you just grabbed whatever was on the shelf, right? And when you see those videos that people do of my makeup from the 90s, and they look like straight up orange and hideous with basically concealer lips and like wild brows, they're not joking. They're like, that is legit how it was. We didn't know better. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have cell phones even yet. And yeah. And then when I started working at the Army hospital, by that time I was wearing a little bit more makeup. Oh, sorry, I'm using shade number 1 Fresh on this inner part. I started wearing a bit more makeup. At this point, my hours were chaotic. My husband at the time was deployed all the time, and I got really, really into QVC and HSN. Comment down below if you went down these rabbit holes. And at the time, the brands on there were like Laura Geller, It Cosmetics, Mally. Mally Beauty was huge on there at the time. And so I got hooked on Mally's Poreless Perfection powder foundation. It was in a pink compact. And the shade range was hideous. And so looking back on it, thank goodness I always went to a tanning bed. Well, not thank goodness, but you know what I mean. So it color matched okay. And then my eyeshadow was always it wasn't NYX brand. It might have been CoverGirl, I mean. But they had a shimmery blue, and I would smudge that along my lash line, upper and lower. And then I would put, CoverGirl also had a shimmery blue, just a single eyeshadow, and I would pack that on over the top. It gets worse. And then I would take pink, like a light pink from CoverGirl, also another single pan, and I would basically go up to my brow bone. So yeah, I don't want to brag or anything, but I've kind of always been a hot mess. Okay, out of the 2 shimmers that I have, let me show them to you. I have Sage and Moss. They kind of look similar to me. Do they look similar to you? Let's do that. I think this one just looks the tiniest bit deeper. So I'm going to start with that one out here, and then I'll put the next one here, and then, oh yeah, that's it. That's all I have to work with. Okay, good. Yeah, that'll take care of the greens. Should I be scared? Yes. Should I put down glitter glue? Should I do that? Can I do that? Or should I do that? Will I do that? Do I want to do that? Crap. Yes. Good chat, thanks. Okay, we'll do just maybe a little bit on each eye. Just a little W. That might be too much even. Oh god, make sure that's not lash glue. Can you imagine? Except lash glues come out on Joe. I'm hoping I would recognize the difference, but okay. So far I like the 2 matte shades together a lot, and I don't think that if I opened a palette this large, I would have thought to use those 2 shades like this. So I guess videos like this are good for this reason, along with just getting use out of a pan. And I love the chat that everyone has going so far. I'm new, I don't know a lot of people, and I did this morning or last night, I can't remember which, start going through and following people that I had not followed. Shoot, now I don't remember which one was which. I think this one's going on the outer, Sage. So I'm trying to follow all of the people that I don't follow yet on Instagram, and then as I see YouTube channel names and stuff, I'll go follow there too. But I love that, finding new creators, especially I prefer to watch small channels, typically right around like 1 subscriber up to just over 1,000. Some of my friends do have more than 1,000. A couple of them have, 2,000. Love Heatherette has several thousand. But that's kind of where it rests for me. I used to really, really love Angelica Nyqvist. But I'm kind of feeling that she's not relatable as much anymore, through no fault of her own. I think with success, people always change, as they should. It's called growth, right? And I would never shit on that and be like, oh, you've changed, I don't like you anymore. It's just, it's not relatable content. I have not unsubscribed to her, though. I love her brushes. In fact, that's a majority of what I've been using today from Singe Beauty. But, oh, and also I did a DNA test last year and found out that I'm 72.8% Swedish. So I thought that was a nice connection. But I don't know. There's something about creators that are smaller, like myself. We're not pushing codes. We're here for the reasons that our friends are here for, and it's to have a good time and just share the makeup that we love. Last year, at one point, I got this thing from YouTube saying that I was eligible to have what was it called? I could start like a membership part of my channel, and I was like, cool. Like, because I always saw like larger subscribers have that, and I was like, I want that. So I did that, and some people subscribed to it, and it made me feel really bad because I'm like, I'm not putting out revolutionary content here. I'm not putting out really anything different, and all it did was stress me out, thinking like, I don't think out of the box when it comes to my content. Like, I prefer just to do what I do and, you know, whatever. And then last year I went on that huge, like a 10-month break because of my health. And I had to just shut that down because basically I felt like I was stealing, right? Like, you cannot pay for something you're not getting. That's how I feel about it. And even if I hit 1 million subscribers, I would never do a membership again. To me, that is one of those things that's like, unless you are giving me what could you be giving me that would be worth it? Like massive discount codes, private sale information, or something that was like so mind-blowing that like it was worth it to pay the couple bucks a month, which when you think a couple bucks a month is not a lot, like, I'm poor, right? Like, I am not rich, I'm not whatever, and like that couple bucks a month could go somewhere else. And anyway, sorry for the rant. Okay, I am going to, maybe I'll just leave this running and then we can just see how long it takes until my phone battery dies. I forgot to charge my phone. But I'm going to blend this out a little bit more, do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and do my lower lash line. I still have this shade to use, and we'll see what happens. Okay. I don't know if I remember how to put some kind of background music on here, but if not, I might just cut it completely and come back when my look is all done. Oh yeah, these are good for wiping up fallout too. I'm having a hot flash. I had to turn my fan on. We're expecting snow tonight, so getting old is fun. I mean, I'm not even that old. Well, I mean, am I? Like, I don't know. What's old? I'm gonna be 50 this year. I don't act it, but, like, it's happening. And I'm the baby of the family. Papa's birthday was yesterday. 79. That is wild. Bosco's still down there squishing that. Ugh. It just sounds so nasty. Sorry, this is the Revolution, my favorite cream bronzer. I'm going to use this Quo blush in Rosy Brown. Is that a mistake? Maybe. Oh, it settled right into my sleep line. Oh shit, I love that for me. Usually when I film, I get up, I take the dogs out, I come in, I brush my teeth, wash my face, put SPF on, and then oh god, that's really loud, I'm so sorry. I listen to music while I do my makeup and just have, time to wake up. I do my makeup really slow. And I just sit in here and just enjoy this time. And then today, like, getting up and just having to be on, I'm like, oh, God, what am I doing? The Ulta Under Eye Brightener. This stick is kind of hard. I have to let it warm up a little bit.
That's what she said!
And then the Shape Tape. Bosco's being a wild man. And hopefully a clean side. No, not really. Are we going to add bronzer? We'll just use the... We'll just use the butt. Not working super well. Mental note to self, use the butt for bronzer. I really need a tiny little... Please don't put bronzer under my eye. Did I blend that out to nothing? Cool. Alright. And I have not tried this yet. This just came in the mail yesterday. Dermablend, the powder. So many people love this. And I'm like, oh, I'll try it. And it was on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I have bought a few things. I cleaned out a purse recently and found some gift cards. That's what I always ask for Christmas and birthdays and whatever. Just give me Ulta gift cards. Bosco, honey, please go somewhere else with that. I'm hoping to find a powder that is actually translucent. The ones that I'm panning right now, I am just light enough that they add a little bit of color onto my face, and it drives me nuts. In this foundation from Catrice, I have this shade 002. It's the lightest one they have, and it's still too dark. I only wear it if I'm filming because the lights, kind of blow it out. And you can't really tell how hideous it is. The formula is so pretty. Oh my god. It became my favorite. Like, it replaced Bobbi Brown, but the color is not okay. So the other day I went on their site and I did a shade match to the Bobbi Brown, and it said, oh, you need 008. And I was like, I don't trust that. I was like, I'll just order the lightest one, because I probably ordered 008 last time. And I'm so glad I checked, because no, I went with my gut and just ordered the lightest one last time. And I got played then too. I'm still feeling a little bit sticky under there. I cannot stand if I touch my face and it feels sticky. Ugh, or tacky. So far, I think this powder is actually like translucent. Use that for real quick. Oh, this hot flash is not easing up. It's driving me crazy. I'm gonna grab some of this translucent powder on this brush. You see all that falling? Tap it off. Why? Ding dong. Okay. That's gonna have to be that on that. I love this from Catrice, the Holiday Skin Duo. I bought this because I have major lust after the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever that little duo is, and I'm not paying prices like that for makeup. If it goes on a great sale, I would pick it up, but the reason brands can charge what they do is because we pay for it, and I'm done. I'm only buying stuff if it's on sale, like great sales, or if it's drugstore. If I have gift cards, whatever. Even with gift cards, I would not pay full price for Charlotte Tilbury and Natasha Denona. You should see my Ulta favorites list right now. That's where I put everything that I want, and then like 21 Days of Beauty, I log on every day and I scroll through my favorites list, and if anything's on there for that day on sale, then that's when I'll allow myself to buy it. I have a huge purchase coming up today, and I'm so sad about it. I have chronic pain, and I've been on morphine for several years. I'm going to use the KBD Honeysuckle. This is so pretty. I've been on morphine for many years as my long-acting pain med, and recently we decided to try something different because my pain isn't as well controlled since I screwed up a med. That's what sent me to the hospital last month. And anyway, the med that my doctor ordered, my pharmacy or my insurance would not cover. If you don't live in the US, you're like, what do you mean you can't get it? In the US, you can have a variety of insurance companies. The one that I have to, every time I go to a doctor, I have a copay, a set amount that I have to pay, and then my insurance will pay the rest. It's the same for medications, labs, procedures, etc. But they have what's called in-network and a formulary, and I can only go to a provider who is in-network, and I can only have medications that are on my formulary. If I want anything else, I have to pay for it. And, well, that's not true. I have to pay like 80%. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the new med, Bosco, please stop. The new med, he ordered it last month, and I went to pick it up, and they're like, yeah, your pharmacy denied this. So I called my pharmacy, and they're like, yeah, it's not on your formulary. Have him order something else. And I said, no, I've been on something else. Please add it to my formulary. So they had to send a note to my doctor to do an appeal. He appealed it, they denied it. He appealed it again, and they approved it. Great. Then I found out for a 28-day supply, it was going to be $384. That's my copay. So I called my doctor. I was like, I'm not doing all that. Just reorder my morphine. So he did. And then on Tuesday, I had another appointment with him, and he said, I really want to get you switched over. Now that it's on formulary, we'll try to do they can work with my insurance company to do what's called a tier exception or something where they add it to a lower tier based on need, and then it won't be as expensive. But in the meanwhile, when you are on chronic pain meds, you get like a 1 month supply of your meds. That's it. So the only reason I have survived these last couple of days without picking up a new script is because one of my doses is at 3 a.m. and sometimes I'm asleep and I don't take until my next dose. And so I've had a couple of extra to hold me over. Well, that ends today. So I called the pharmacy yesterday on our way to dinner, and I just asked them, like, when is this med going to be ready? Like, I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and pay the $384 for it. And she said, I had called the day before, and they said it was out of stock, but it was going to be in yesterday. So I called and said, how long until this is ready? Like, could I pick it up after dinner? She said, no, it's not in stock and it probably won't be. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She said they're having a supply issue where they're ordering it and they're not receiving it from the supplier. But they have a higher dose in stock. Great. So I sent a message through the app, the patient portal, to my doctor, just saying, look, they have the higher dose in stock. Like, what do you want to do? So I got a message back. We ordered the higher dose. You know, be careful with it. We'll see you at your next scheduled visit. I go in every 28 days. So we go to dinner, come home, and I call the pharmacy again last night and just say, hey, my doctor reordered this med. Can you tell me, like, when it would be ready? And I hear the guy kind of gasp a little bit. And I said, what was that? Like, that doesn't sound good. And he said, it's here and I have enough in stock. He said, oh my God. And I said, it's expensive, yeah? And he said, oh my God. So because the dose increased, the price increased. Great. So when I go pick up my med after I get done filming here, $430 for 26 days. But when I talked to my insurance, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, why add it to my formulary if I can't afford it? Like, why even go through all that? That was a waste of your time, my doctor's time. Like, what even was that? And they said that this year, with the changes to my plan, like nationwide, this happened. They've started adding higher deductibles on prescription plans. So my other meds would be more expensive, but not nearly this much. So I kind of like hemmed and hawed about it, and I'm like, well, no matter what, the rest of my meds are going to be more expensive until my deductibles met. And if I just get on this med now and just eat this huge cost now, with the other meds that I've already gotten this year, I think by the end of the month I'll have met my deductible for the year. So I think that means then that all of my meds then slide down to the lowest tier and should be like reasonable. Like my most expensive med should be like $100 a month. And it's frustrating. Like, that's where all my money goes, right? At this point, like, I mean, could I get cheaper groceries? Yes. But I don't, I'm huge. I'm a massive woman, but I don't prefer to eat. I don't have a healthy relationship with food. So I prefer protein shakes, cheese, crackers, yogurt, fruit. Things like that. Like, don't put a slab of meat in front of me and be like, here, eat this. Like, I'll gag. And I tried to order some of those Factor meals recently, and the one that I ate the first day was so good. Second day, it was like, meh, all right. The next day, it was really good, and then the last ones I've had have not been good. Like, I've been able to eat the sides in them, like roasted Brussels sprouts and stuff like that, which were delicious, but the meat chunks, I always just heat them up in the microwave and then put them in a separate thing, and Wendy takes them to work for lunch. Just, anyway. So my groceries, I don't know if you know, but stuff like yogurt and protein shakes and stuff, expensive. And, oh, I could cut down on a really bad habit that I have. Pepsi Zero. So bad. Terrible habit. Last night at dinner, they did not have Pepsi Zero. Our waitress was the sweetest thing. She reminded me of... Do you guys read romance books? That's all I read. I just need like mind-numbing whatever. She reminds me of the kind of woman who would be the old lady of a super hot motorcycle badass, right? Like that super possessive, aggressive, over the top, dangerous biker dude who has like the super hot girlfriend that matches his vibe. She had tattoos on both arms. She was petite. She had long blonde hair that was curly. I'm gonna guess she was probably in her 40s somewhere. She was absolutely beautiful. She was darling. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's on the back of someone's bike for sure. Yes, I profiled her. But when I asked for Pepsi Zero, she said no, but we have Dr. Pepper Zero. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, I'll try it. It was delicious. It didn't really taste like Dr. Pepper. It tasted like cherry. I don't even know how to describe it. But I was like, holy shit, that's good. I drank 4 glasses during dinner. It was wild. And my brother, my whole family is like against aspartame, like NutraSweet type stuff. It'll cause cancer. It's blah, blah, blah. So they always get on me for drinking the sodas that I do. And so my brother finally heard me raving about it for like the 800th time. Every time I took a sip, I was like, this is so good. Like, it's fucking obnoxious. But anyway, he finally said, fine, I'll try it. So she brought him a glass and he was like, wow. He said, I'm really shocked. And then my sister-in-law tried it and she said, wow, like you cannot taste that NutraSweet in there at all. It was so good. I was like, oh shit. Another thing that I'm going to end up adding to my grocery orders. Wendy is a total carnivore and she hates vegetables. That was a childhood trauma for her. I love vegetables. I used to be able to eat meat, but I have a huge aversion now. I feel like don't take this dirty. But when it's in my mouth, it just, to me, it's like meat gum. I'm just chewing and chewing and chewing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just like I literally will gag. I'm like, I don't know what happened to my brain hole. Well, a lot, but like, I just am not, I can't do it. So my protein comes from protein shakes, which is another thing I usually have before I film. I found if I have some protein before I film, and then I have like a huge glass or two of water, I'm much more alert, and I find my words easier, and I'm not as big of a clusterfuck. But a lot of this is just naturally me. Like I hate to admit it, but I'm just kind of a natural disaster. Okay. I think we got it. Okay, I looked through my stash and I found from ColourPop a creme gel liner in Red Rock, and it's the exact same shade as the last color I got, which is number 30, and it's called Brick. So I am going to I pulled out these liners also. I think I'm going to put this one halfway. I'll cover it with brick, and then I will do mildew right in here, and I'll pull some of this shade, the inner shimmer, down to just this piece right here. I'm going to tightline with Loaded. I will put Electric Slide in my waterline, and then I will use High Altitude just right here in this little inner piece. Does that sound like a plan? I think it sounds like a plan. Okay, let's do it. Before I put my lashes on, here's where I'm at. Let me do my lashes. I'll be right back. I'm using the Glamlight Fresh Prince lashes. Ever since Will Smith did his little slap, I don't support him anymore. You know, he and his family always preached, you know, being better than, and that just was a mess. So, but this came out and I thought this was so cute, and I love Glamlight lashes, and I think these went on clearance. They were on a clearance sale, plus I used someone's code, and I think I got them for like $2.80 or something, which is crazy for Glamlight lashes. So, and plus, even though I don't like Will Smith anymore, I hate to like not support the collab as a whole, because he wasn't the only person on that show, right? Like, if you give up on an entire show, what's it called? Not cancel, but not veto. What is the word I'm thinking of? Anyway, it's not fair to everybody else who put their time, their blood, sweat, and tears into something. I've only ever completely, we'll call it canceled, 2 people and brands. There are brands that I took a step away from because of things that they did that either didn't align with my views or hurt other creators or people. But the 2 that I personally will never support are Jeffree Star. He's a vile human being, and after he did his apology and tried, like, I'm going to be a better person, blah, 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 I gave him a second chance. I'll give everybody a second chance. But he has just continued to just not be a good person. I will not support him at all. And the other person is Jaclyn Hill. I think she is one of the biggest liars that social media and the beauty, like influencer wise, that has ever formed. She does not care about anybody unless it's making her money. And to me, that is just vile, that you would put money over morals and whatever. So Can't stand her. And it's too bad that Michaela is taking or following in her footsteps, I guess, because Michaela had so much potential to be just, well, I mean, she's huge anyway, but to really be a leader in the industry. But so many people don't trust her because she lies all the time. And I get it. She's young. She's come into all this fame and money, and maybe it's just because I'm older now that I can look at everything differently and just be like, no. My worst fear, I've told Wendy this, I'm totally open to getting into a long-term relationship at some point in the future again. And I joke, but I'm serious, that my worst fear is that I'm going to fall in love with this man who is perfect for me in every way, but I find out he's like super important or super wealthy in some way. Now, most people would be like, what's wrong with that? That is not my life. Okay. The thought, like, some girls dream of like having all this unlimited money to like buy dresses and heels and go to day spas and like, oh my God, like that is my worst nightmare. That is not, oh my God. The thought of ever being on a red carpet like gives me diarrhea. Okay, like I would, no. I would rather pluck out all of my body hair. And let me tell you, now that I'm in menopause, like it's a lot. And I would rather pluck out every hair on my body one by one than ever do like a red carpet or be in a spotlight in some way, in some kind of like gown and heels. With, oh God, oh no, fuck that. Like, I'm not cut out for that kind of life. Would it be nice to have enough money that you could like not have to worry about your grocery bill or choosing between a $400 medication and groceries for the next month? Yeah, of course. But like, some people just want like excess, and sorry, that's not me. I can't do it. Okay, anyway, I did get some mascara here that I should wait for it to dry before I start picking at it, but I can't because I'm impatient and shit. That lash is not lashing. I need you. Oh, good. Oh, no. I need you to just go a little bit closer to your friend. Just a little bit closer. This one looks a lot. Maybe if I do that, they'll look the same. Doesn't this one look a lot fuller on the outside? Like, I feel like if I was a bird or a butterfly, this wing would be a lot stronger. Like, this one is keeping me in the air. This one here, landing, like I'm crashing right into your freaking window. That thump you heard against your house? Yep, that's me. Come on, bud. Okay, anyway, we're gonna just call it done. I don't want to like clean the makeup out of my hairline and like cover up my roots and all that. I mean I do, but I don't. All I'm doing is going to spend money at the pharmacy, and I don't want to get pretty for that. Let me put on a lippy real quick. What if I just put on this one that I made in Vegas? It's called Vegas Baby. I made it at the Bite Lip Lab. Do you still smell okay? Don't smell like anything. Kind of Black Honey vibes. I swatched it out there next to that shadow. Okay. How'd I do? Be honest. I did take the brush that I packed on my shimmers with on top and kind of smudged out more. So I know I covered most of the red, but those tones of shadows on me make me look ill. Like, they make me look like I have rabies. So I had to put it further out from my sclera. That way it wasn't like making me look like I was having dire issues. But this is Bingo of Shame for March with the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. Thank you for letting me join to Deb's Beauty Diary and Andie Gardner. I will have their channels linked below. I will use the hashtag Bingo of Shame. If you click on it, it will take you to other videos. And I'm not sure, I think I remember hearing Dee say that she made a playlist for these videos. If I'm lying, then just use the hashtag. And this will be up on the 16th, which I think is Sunday. And I go watch Andie's video, because at the end of her video, she will spin the wheel and pull up the palette for April. So if you would like to join, just comment on Andie or Deb's Beauty Diaries on their videos. They will add you to the group chat on Instagram, and it's really interesting to just kind of follow everybody's numbers that they're drawing, the palettes that they're using, because if you don't have the palette that's drawn, you can dupe the vibes, and some people are really creative, and that was really fascinating for me. I tried to not look at this palette specifically because I hadn't looked at my numbers yet, and I didn't want to spoil it for myself. But I went through and I looked at like the looks that people had already completed, and then I looked at what people had duped, and there can be some good videos and good Instagram posts. So anyway, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. Please like this video. Please comment. Let me know if you like this video. Please subscribe. I would love to have you here. And yeah, have a good day. I say it in every video, and I know people are like, you can't possibly love us, you don't know us. But I do love you, and sorry, that was bothering me. And I wish that I could meet everybody in person, because I just want to like squish everybody, and everybody that comes here and leaves comments for me and leaves comments on my Instagram. You guys have no idea that those keep me going on all the days that I'm on, like, basically bedridden, and I can read comments, and I'm just like, oh, it's just, I really do love you guys. You guys are my people and my therapy and like my oomph to get up and go. So anyway, thank you, and I will hopefully have the palette or be able to dupe whatever comes up for April. All right, bye. Right back. Oh, it's a joke when it comes to lashes. What I meant to say was, I'll be back in 6 to 12 business days. Give it a rest, honey. No one's gonna take it from you. That doesn't even fit in Bentley's mouth. That thing is so, like, toxic. Slimy, gross. I don't want to touch it.